Hello and welcome to the Always Bet on Yourself podcast. I'm so excited to be doing this. It's definitely been a long time coming. I've been wanting to get behind the camera for a while now and sort of share the past 4 years of my life with people, just because it's just been so incredibly difficult and lonely, I would say, isolating. And I know there are other people going through things that are just hard. And I think it's more important to have people out there talking about it so that other people can feel like they have someone to relate to. So I'll jump straight into it. I lost my husband 4 years ago of cancer. Just the worst thing that could ever happen, honestly. Something completely unimaginable. Just rocked all of our lives, and it's been a really tumultuous time trying to find peace again, find a sense of self, figure out what you want to do and who you want to be, who you're supposed to be, and just navigating life post-loss is just so hard. And I don't think that there's enough grace given to people that are grieving. I feel like there's just such a rush to be healed and fixed, and it's odd in my mind. It really is. I just couldn't imagine not thinking about someone you loved, even if they're gone. It lasts forever. You know, that person didn't want to leave. They didn't want to go. So I don't see why we should be in such a rush to forget them and move on and all of those things. Grief inhabits your life and it will live with you forever. And that can be quite difficult at first. It's not something that it's so uncomfortable. It just lives inside of you, and it's anger, it's sadness, it's all of the stages of grief. And you have to learn how to weave your life with all of those things and have to let some things go. Like, for instance, for the past, I would say for 3.5 years, I was living in such anger and anguish, just angry at everything and everyone. For 2 years, I would look at families and be so angry that they had what I could not have. And I felt just like they were wasting their lives, doing mundane things, which is not for me to judge, but I was just in such a place of anger that I couldn't comprehend anything. I couldn't see light. I was just annoyed and frustrated and taking it out in my mind on other people. And it's taken a really, really long time to try and just find peace for myself. I mean, if you haven't been through the journey or lost someone, you really don't quite understand. I would just say have some compassion and empathy, because, you know, all of those moments, those special moments that you had with that person and all of that time that you spent together building your life, it all came to a halt. It all came to a halt, and you have to mourn the future that you'll never have, the life that you had and the person, and it's just so much emotional turmoil to go through, and it's really, really difficult. And I was 26 when I lost Matt. Such a young age to lose someone, and I unfortunately know other people that have lost someone at such young ages, and I know that it's painful at any age, but coming of age as well and trying to navigate life, and, you know, it's just, it knocks you to the floor. It knocked me to the floor, and it took a really bloody long time to try and pick myself back up and get to a place of where I feel like I feel good. You know, I can move on and think about my love and the life that we had, and not just be so consumed all the time, and to be in a place of just darkness, quite honestly. But it's normal to go through all of those things. It's completely normal to be not okay after the first year, or the second year, or the third year, or the fourth year, and to still be talking about them because they lived. It's completely normal. They were someone big in your life, and it's okay that you talk about them and speak about them. There seems to be a little bit of shame and trepidation as to whether you should or shouldn't, and I just don't agree with it, honestly. And I still see things now. I mean, 4 years of my life I've been without him, and I see new people that have lost somebody, and there's just a shutdown, and the commentary of what they've been told of is astounding to me. You know, you'll meet someone else. That's not helpful. I really don't care, right? And even if I did care about meeting someone else, one love doesn't replace another, and it never will. It's just, unfortunately, our culture is just wants to fix things and brush over and just not be there, which is a shame. And I actually don't wish to kind of tell people what they should and shouldn't do. I think I would like to put more emphasis on the griever and how they can pick themselves up, because I genuinely believe that it's only us, like ourselves, that can pick ourselves up. Nobody is going to do it for us, unfortunately. And that's just with all things in life. We have to make choices that are going to better our lives, or going to bring us a bit more peace and harmony and all of those things. So, I mean, I can scream at people until the cows come home, but it doesn't mean it's going to go through. They're going to go through their own life, and eventually they will stumble upon this thing that we've already gone through, and they will have an aha moment, and it might not be to you, but it will be to themselves, and they will understand. But yes, that's my own personal opinion on that. That's just how I think it's helped me. And that's not to say not to go and get professional help. I think if you do need professional help, and if you need to go and see someone like a psychologist or a counsellor, somebody that can give you some tools to try and manage your day, or for whatever it is, I think that is completely, I have done that, and I will continue to do that. I just think listening to people espousing nonsense when they know nothing about it sometimes is just push that to the side. So I kind of wanted to talk about some things that I have been doing imperfectly, but have been doing and incorporated in my life since Matthew's gone, that have kind of given me a little bit of peace, that have helped me find a sense of self, because I genuinely think that the person that I was before is not the same person now. I've turned into someone completely different, quite honestly, in my mind. I've just had to sort of find who I was, and it was really difficult. It's like learning how to walk again, and it's been hard, but we are here. So some things that I would do, I would write a lot. I got a journal, and in the beginning year, the first year, I would just write down anything and everything I could, just to sort of get it outside of me. And I also spoke to my friends a lot. They were a massive, I can't even express how amazing they were to me in that first year. And I know not everyone has that, and that makes me honestly just so incredibly sad. So I would say go and speak to a professional if you can, and hopefully, even if you could find one person, someone in your family or a friend that you could speak to, I would do that. So my days were spent up with friends, writing, and unfortunately I drank a lot, which I would not recommend. It just helped me numb all of my feelings. I spent a lot of time. I didn't go to work for 8 months after he passed. I needed to sort of just be, honestly, just be at home, and very much was still in a shock survival mode. It wasn't like I was just at home, just sitting down and being. I was in so much anguish and pain, and all I would do is just cry and be in complete disbelief that this was my life now. Be in complete disbelief. And it was just upending, honestly. Makes me emotional thinking about it, to be honest. And then at the end of year one, I sort of got to year two and I felt like, I have a bit of something inside of me. I had finally gone back to work and had made some new friends, and they were so welcoming and just beautiful human beings that would talk to me about him and let me talk, just about what I was feeling and things like that, just like normal friends do. And it was just monumental for me. Just baby steps into starting life again, new job, new friends, starting to go out a little bit more, but still having that deep pain inside of me. You start living life, but you still have that inside of you, and it's so normal. I can't tell you how normal it is. You can see someone smiling and laughing and having a great time with their friends, but it doesn't mean that they are in pain and they're not grieving over that person. I can't even tell you how much time I spent at the beach and how much time I spent just being out in nature, and how soothing it was for my soul. It's immediately stepping onto that beach, I felt just a calmness over me, and I still feel that now. I think everyone feels that. We're just not out doing it all of the time, but it's like my body craved that, and I would spend so much time there just listening to the waves. I would talk to Matt. I would talk to myself. I would do anything and everything to feel a sense of calm in my life. And you sort of go through things that you can tolerate and you will tolerate, like when you have a conversation with someone post-loss and they're talking about things that are just what you now see as trivial because you've been through something so huge. You don't really understand how that can be so magnificently large in their life. I'm looking for the right word. That was not magnificently large. That was not the right word. So yeah, everything changes. I did do a bit of travel after Matt went, year two. I did some travelling, and that was nice. It was good to finally go home to England, because I don't live in England. I live in Australia, and see my friends and family. But again, you've changed a lot and they've changed a lot. So, you have an idea of what you think will make you feel better, and it doesn't always necessarily. So I think external pleasures were probably what I was seeking the most, just to try and sort of satiate that pain. I did a lot of things to sort of, which it's not a bad thing. Trying new things and meeting new people and having adventures aren't bad things, but ultimately it wasn't fixing how I was how I was feeling inside of myself. It wasn't fixing any of that. And when I finally had come to a halt and got back home, and life just gets still again, it didn't feel okay. I wasn't okay. I was just a mess, an absolute mess. And it's okay to be a bloody mess. But that's when I had to start making some changes in my life to sort of just to be okay again. So, and that's frequent walking, limiting alcohol, exercise. Oh, it's so simple. All the answers are actually right there in front of us and we just don't do them. But, exercise in my life. And I actually had to just sort of stop perpetuating those thoughts of when he was ill and stop thinking about the life that we weren't going to have anymore. I had to sort of become okay with that because it's not going to happen. Acceptance. So sort of accepting the fact that that wasn't my reality anymore and be okay with it. And this all comes at a person in their own time. It isn't for another person to say when you're going to be okay with that. But you just have to sort of make those steps yourself. And I feel quite grateful, and I'm so much happier that I'm in a place now where I'm not in that place of just pain, and I can be happier in my days. But it's still quite hard, and still find myself sad on days, but I haven't let it take over my being anymore. I've learned how to sort of integrate grief into my life, and it's just something that I don't want to see as it's not bad. It's love, and I loved, and I will always love him. I will always love him. And I don't want to feel shame for that. I don't want to feel like I should be somewhere I'm not. So, apologies for the tears. I get emotional when talking about Matthew. Thank you for listening to my tangent. You can find me on Instagram, always bet on yourself. Please like and subscribe to this video if you'd like to see some more me rambling about things. I'm hopefully going to be talking to some people as well, which I'm really, really excited about. Always bet on yourself. Be kind to yourself. Cheers.